Hey everyone, Andang here, so excited because today we finally got some Mordor news! It has been like pulling teeth to try to get information out of Standing Stone Games. I tell you what, it's been incredibly hard just to find out anything. But finally today we got the flood of information. So what did we learn today, you might be asking? Well, we found out that there will be 5 regions with Mordor, which doesn't sound like much information until you look back at the Update 19 beta map of Mordor. Here is the map, and as you can see, there are 5 clearly defined regions outlined in red, which presumably are the regions we will be getting with Mordor when it comes out later this year. So, assuming that these areas are the 5 areas we will be getting, that means that we will only be getting the area of Mordor around Mount Doom. We will not be getting all of Mordor, which I never expected. I didn't think there was any way that they would be able to have the entirety of Mordor in a single expansion. It just can't really be done, especially with the development team LOTRO has right now. So, what do we get within those 5 regions, you might be wondering? Well, they did tease several different things, including apparently a spider overrun area, which is supposedly caused by the fact that Sam somewhat orchestrated the clearing out of those towers near Shelob, and so presumably after Sauron fell, Shelob went in with all of her spiders and just overran the place, and so we're gonna have to be dealing with that. There's also this area where there's gonna be a sea of lava that is coming out of the south side from Mount Doom, so that is fantastic looking. And also, just to keep things diverse, there's apparently going to be a blood-soaked area as well. So all of that sounds pretty cool. I think that this will be more than enough content for us, as Mordor is a gigantic place, and there was no way that they were going to be able to include the Sea of Nirn and everything like that. So I think it makes sense to be limiting it to this top area. One thing I would like to point out is that 3 of the 5 regions surround Mount Doom, which I think is really cool. That means that we'll be having essentially a full 360 view of Mount Doom, which is really exciting. I can't wait to see Mount Doom from every single angle. The more Mount Doom, the better, I think, when you're dealing with Mordor. Today we also learned a few other things that are map related, including the fact that stable masters will be throughout the area along with milestones and all the stuff that we're used to when traveling throughout LOTRO. They will be handled in a bit different way than some of the recent zones, in that there aren't really any allied areas around us, so the stable masters will be like a guy with a horse that's randomly throughout that we'll be able to travel to, instead of an entire city that has a stable. So stable masters will be, single NPCs instead of, an NPC representing an entire city. So that's a little bit different than what we've been getting recently, but it's nothing different from, say, Angmar or in Moria. Something interesting that they did mention, though, is that there will be no skirmish camps in all of Mordor. That means that there probably won't be any new skirmishes coming with the expansion. I don't know why they would add in any new skirmishes if there wasn't a skirmish camp in the whole of the expansion. Now, I don't think anybody's too surprised by this, considering that there haven't been really any skirmishes recently. So, they technically could do a new skirmish, but I think it's highly unlikely given the fact that there won't be a skirmish camp inside Mordor. So that's kind of the only change from, say, previous expansions, is that there will be no skirmish camp anywhere throughout. So overall, I'm really excited about this news. I think just this small part of Mordor will be more than enough for an expansion, especially when you consider that Rohan had to be split into 2 separate expansions. I think that Mordor is more than big enough to have just this small area be covered in an entire expansion, and it'll still be really, really big. I'm also extremely excited about the fact that 3 of the 5 zones surround Mount Doom. I think that that is fantastic. I can't wait to see all the different sides and angles of Mount Doom and the power struggles that are going on and all that stuff. I can't wait. It sounds fantastic. I'm also really glad that they did make stable masters available. I think that for accessibility purposes, that is really needed within Mordor. I think, you can't really have good gameplay if you have to walk all the way from the start of Mordor to wherever you died at the very back part. I think that it makes a lot of sense to have stable masters and milestones and all the normal stuff that you get with LOTRO. I do think it is sad that there won't be a skirmish camp, but I do think it would look silly within Mordor, even after it has fallen. I think that there's not going to be enough of our allies there to really warrant having a skirmish camp, and so I think that makes sense. But I do hope that someday we do get another skirmish, because man, it would be awesome to have one inside Mordor. But I do understand that they are already doing raids and instances and things like that, so if we don't get a skirmish, I'm fine with that as well. Alright, that does bring this video to a close. Be sure to let me know in the comments down below what you think of all of this different news. And also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like down below. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you again real soon for more Mordor news.